Quit whining.
Come off my face?
Yeah. No, it's there for life.
He's talking about wax and glue.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to this Halloween tutorial for Bagul, aka Mr. Boogie from the Sinister movies. For those of you guys who don't already know, Bagul is a demon who likes to consume the souls of children. And since that's what my fiance also likes to do in her spare time, she agreed to be my model. And what a trooper she was, because I get to seal her mouth shut with latex. Stay tuned and leave me some comments of what you guys would like to see in the future. So the first thing we're going to do is conceal the brows. So what I'm doing is combing them out and applying a layer of spirit gum, which is a liquid adhesive. I'm running it through the entire brow, and then I'm also going to back comb it to get the underside of the hair coated as well. That way the brows will lay nice and flat, and when we go to cover them up with this Nye Scar Wax, they'll lay nice and smooth. This is going to give the look of a higher, more furrowed brow since Mr. Boogie has that really angry brow line. I'm taking an artist spatula and I'm flattening out the top of the brow line, leaving the bottom side raised. And then I'm taking some spirit gum and I am applying a ball of the wax to the nose to give that more of an extended pointed look. Mold that up the way you need it, and then we're going to take some liquid latex on a sponge and cover the edges of all the wax so they lay smooth. Blow dry that on cool until it dries clear, and then you want to do a layer of powder over all of the wax and latex so you can build your makeup upon that. Next, what I'm doing is taking a flat-topped paintbrush with some black Chromocake from MAC, diluting it with some water to make it more like a fluid paint, and I'm mapping out where the black eye sockets will go. We're really going to play around with the shape of the eye sockets throughout this entire makeup process, but this is really going to be just a map for us to follow throughout the entire look. Makeup like this is built upon layer, upon layer, upon layer, so don't worry if you get discouraged throughout the process, just keep going. I promise it will all come together in the end. I have a mixture of black and white Chromocake also diluted with water to make it more sheer, and we're patting that onto the face with a sponge to create the base of Bagul's skin. Again, we're going to layer lots of stuff upon this, but this is going to be our starting point. Now what I'm doing is taking my sponge with the makeup and I'm covering up those waxy bits to help them blend into the skin. We're working with lots of layers here, so I'm just going over creating lots of texture. It doesn't have to be neat, I pinky promise, because his skin is really just textured and icky. I have a Nye Bruise Wheel that I'm taking my sponge and adding some color variations and texture to make this a little less gray and more earth toned. And now I'm taking a orange Chromocake that I've mixed with black, almost created a green tone, mixed with some water to dilute it and a fan brush, and I'm flicking that onto the skin. Oh, that did not go as planned, so let's just tap that out. Alright, keep it moving. But we're just going to fan that onto the skin, flick it to create a splatter effect, and that's going to give the texture of rotten or earthy skin. Pat that in with the sponge and layer, layer, layer. Now I'm going to fit her latex mouthpiece. So we're just going to see if that fits, trim it up a little bit. To create the mouthpiece, I took a clear piece of glass from a picture frame and some liquid latex. I laid out a very sheer layer of liquid latex, used my finger to create the shape I wanted, and I blow dried it on cool. You know it's dry when it is clear, and then you're good to go. Use a spatula to peel it up off the glass, and you also want to powder it so it doesn't stick to itself. And then we're going to stick that onto her mouth later. Right now I'm using a very small eyeliner brush to create some details, almost like a veiny effect in the skin. I'm using the mixture of black and orange Chromocake, which created this muddy green color, and it's diluted with water. I'm just going over the eye area again to detail that out and recreate the shape that I want and blacken it up a bit. And I'm using my finger with the orange and black paint mixture to really muddy up the skin. I've cleaned off my eyeliner brush and now I'm going back in with the white Chromocake, again diluted with some water, and I'm creating some highlights and details on the skin. And now we're going to black out the nostrils. I'm going over the face with a little bit of brown powder. You could use a bronzer or a blush. You want it to be a cool brown so it creates an earthy tone to the skin. And let's go ahead and pop on that latex mouthpiece. Spirit gum again for the adhesive. Give it a few taps with your fingers so it becomes real sticky, and then we're going to lay that onto the lips. Powder it up again so it gets that earthy tone, and then we're going to create the details of the faded stitching with our fan brush. Right now, Katie looks like that guy from Hocus Pocus. And since we're going for Bagul and not Billy from Hocus Pocus, we're going to take our sponge and fade out those stitching lines a little bit. And some final details with the fan brush. Really get in there and create as much texture as you can, make it nice and messy. And then I'm using the white paint to create highlights among the stitches. And there you have it, time to pop on the wig.
Go ahead.
Oh my god. Okay.